Hi, Evan, and welcome to India. And you've come at a time when there's a lot of activity in India and the economy and otherwise. What are you seeing? What are you liking around you? What you see in India this time?
Well, thank you so much. It's really great to be here. The Snapchat community is growing. It's now over 200 million people in India. And I understand that's small. So I'm so excited about the opportunity we have to continue growing our business and seeing the way that young people are expressing themselves, building augmented reality experiences. We hosted an AR day here yesterday in Mumbai. And so we were able to connect with all the developers who are making so many new augmented reality experiences. And of course, folks who are creating videos and sharing them with their friends, expressing themselves and communicating with Snapchat. So it's been so exciting to see the way that our product is resonating here in India, and it's a great honor to be here and to connect with our community.
It's really been a time when Snapchat, in fact, has really taken off in India, like you said. And, it's got to do, I think, with the pandemic and after. To what really do you attribute this massive growth in India for Snap?
Well, I think when we've seen Snapchat grow historically around the world, it's always been about friends and family connecting. And we've seen that a picture is worth 1,000 words. And so when you can share what you're doing and who you're with and share how you feel together with your friends visually through Snapchat with photos and videos, and of course with all of the augmented reality lenses, that's really what brings people together and helps our service to grow. So it's been so fun to see friends and family here in India using our service to connect with one another.
And you've also been very, very bullish about the AI part of it, right? And AI is now all pervasive. There's a huge discussion all around the world about AI and what AI can do, both positively and otherwise. Where does Snap and where do you personally stand on the AI debate in that sense?
Well, AI is such a powerful creative tool. I think for so many people, we imagine something in our head that we want to create or share, but actually building it ourselves or drawing it ourselves or designing it ourselves is very challenging. It's hard to use those tools. So to be able to use artificial intelligence to shorten the distance between what you can imagine in your mind and what you can create on your phone or even in the future with AR glasses is something that I think holds enormous potential. So I believe that AI is really going to be an empowering creative tool for humanity.
Just the other day, we had a bit of a controversy about deep fakes, and that's, again, something which is pervasive all over the world. There has been some debate about deep fakes and how to regulate them. What do we and India and other countries do about deep fakes? Now, when we talk about AR, AI, and the entire gamut of that kind of immersive technologies, how do you think we need to have the guardrails? What are the kind of guardrails you think in terms of the whole emergence of the deepfake element of it?
Well, with the explosion in content creation that's being powered by AI, I think it's becoming more and more important to authenticate real news. And that's why we have a closed content platform on Snapchat. So we decide the publishers who can publish to our platform. We make sure that that content adheres to our content guidelines. And that's how we work to authenticate the content that's being shared on Snapchat. Because I think today we should assume that more and more of the content that we see has been created by artificial intelligence or may not be accurate. And so in fact, it's important to authenticate the real news and assume that the news that we see or articles that we see that is not authenticated or not from a publisher we trust may not be real.
Evan, there's a lot that's been said about advertising and the way the whole world is shaping up, and a large chunk of your revenue comes from advertising. Equally, performance advertising as a concept is something that's kind of created a lot of interest and buzz. What is your own view on that? And how do you see that playing out as a business model for Snap in the next few years?
Well, I think performance advertising is an essential part of any business strategy for growth. And I think that's because it allows people to reach their customers in a personalized way with the assistance of artificial intelligence, which we just spoke about. And so it's becoming more and more efficient to reach your customers using performance advertising, which is helping businesses achieve really incredible growth in a way that wasn't possible before with brand advertising that wasn't as personalized to the audience that was viewing it. So to me, this explosion in personalized advertising is really helping smaller businesses compete in a way that they never could before. When large advertisers are the only businesses that can afford to advertise at scale and advertise with brand advertising, whether that's on television or newspapers, it's harder for small businesses to find their customers and to grow. And so performance advertising has been just a vital tool for small business to achieve their goals. And that to me is one of the reasons why it's so exciting to be expanding our advertising offering here in India and helping support the growth of the economy.
Evan, Snap is also being talked about as somebody or a company which will revolutionize or is revolutionizing social media in general because it opens to a camera, as we've often discussed. What do you think are the key differentiators? Now we have proliferation of social media tools across the world, right? You have a short video and various other formats. Now, what is, in your sense, the key differentiator for Snap?
When Bobby and I first started working on Snapchat, we wanted to make something that was different than social media. We felt a lot of pressure on social media because everything is posted forever, it's public, there's all this pressure from public likes and comments. And so sometimes social media feels like a popularity contest where you need to look pretty or cool or perfect to get attention. And Bobby and I just wanted a way to communicate and have fun together with our friends. And so when we built Snapchat, of course, we opened it to the camera, as you mentioned, but we also made sure that there weren't public likes and comments and that the content just goes away. So people feel comfortable reinventing themselves. They can be someone new tomorrow and not have the baggage of years and years and years of everything they posted, collected forever. And so I think that's felt really empowering for people as a way to express themselves. And it's felt much more familiar, like the way that we communicate every day with our friends. We don't record every conversation we have with our friends when we're hanging out with them. And so I think making conversation online much more similar to real world conversation is one of the reasons why people love Snapchat.
Do you think, Snap is at the right time, at the right place right now? Because there's so much talk about privacy and the whole key, element of data and minimization of data, which is one of the key elements of Snap. Do you think that is also aiding this whole boom which you're witnessing right now globally?
I think so, especially because so many people had to adopt social media to realize that they didn't like it and they wanted something different. And so when we started working on Snapchat now, almost 13 years ago, people were just discovering social media. They didn't realize how much it had impacted their lives or made them feel uncomfortable communicating with their friends or with the world. But now that people all over the world have tried social media, I think they know that they want something different. And so it's a really good time for Snapchat to show people that there's a better way to communicate with friends and family without all that pressure, without all that permanence, where you can have fun and express yourself.
Evan, a lot has been said about how difficult it is if you look at the global environment the way it is today, uncertainty coupled with geopolitical tension, all of it. Given how your business model is positioned, how do you see Snap reorienting its business model given the fact that perhaps advertising budgets would come under a bit of pressure? So I look into business model with a completely fresh perspective as we speak.
Well, I think the most important thing to our business has always been serving our community, right? And as long as our community continues to grow, we think we can build a very big business over time. We just passed 400 million daily active users around the world, and we're seeing their engagement with content and augmented reality and with our map. And so that gives me a lot of confidence in our ability to continue to grow our revenue and develop our business over time. But as you pointed out, it's going to be increasingly important for our business to deliver results with our performance advertising platform to continue to attract advertiser spend. And that's why over the past couple of years, we've shifted from more of a brand advertising focused platform to performance advertising. We rebuilt the team, rebuilt our advertising platform, and now we have a product that we feel really can perform for advertisers. And so that helps us to weather some of the volatility and the challenges because we're able to drive measurable results in a scalable way for advertisers.
To add to what Krishna was asking, Evan, do you think there is inherently some conflict between this whole minimizing data collection and privacy with this whole point about advertising and performance advertising? Because ultimately it's about advertisers wanting the data of the consumer. So how do you sort of balance these two?
I think there is some tension there, but that's also where the innovation lies. And that to me is what's so exciting, that we don't need to trade off privacy for great business performance. We can innovate and come up with new ways to help advertisers reach the customers that they're looking for without sacrificing the privacy of the people that use our service. So as we've worked on things like aggregated data and this ML modeling, we've been able to find ways to help advertisers achieve their performance goals, but without leaking privacy-safe information from our community.
And this would also be through the greater use of AR for advertisers?
Of augmented reality for advertisers? Yes, that's, I think, another really big opportunity for us, especially because so many people love using our camera to share and express themselves with friends. And brands find that when people engage with their AR tools and they share the AR effects with their friends, that can help drive business results for them as well.
The other associated question which I'd like to ask you, Evan, is, you obviously are on a great growth trajectory at the moment, but profitability continues to be a challenge globally as well. What are your key 2 or 3 things you would like to do to sort of get more and more profitable as you go along? Because revenues is one thing, but the bottom line is obviously what you're focused on.
Well, as we think about building our business over the long term, we just see an enormous opportunity to continue growing our community and growing our revenue. And so far we've made the decision to run our business right about at break even and continue to reinvest so that we can make great new products that our community loves, continue to reach more people, and invest in our ad platform to drive more performance for advertisers. And so as long as we continue to see that really big long-term opportunity, we're going to want to carefully balance profitability so that we don't optimize around short-term profits over the long-term growth of our business.
Which would be great, learning for some of the startups in India, which are really looking for that secret formula of how to balance revenue growth with profitability. So I'm sure when they listen to this and watch this interview, they'll really be, taking a cue from that. On the AR side, what are the newer things you're doing on Snap, which you think will be cutting edge and become even bigger differentiators?
Well, we have a lot of exciting tools coming out in 3 days from now, so I don't want to ruin the surprise, but a lot of what we're doing is bringing machine learning tools into Lens Studio, which is our developer environment that allows people to build AR lenses. And so a lot of these AI assistive tools, I think, will help people build lenses faster, build higher quality lenses, and also help generate some of the 3D assets that are necessary to build an amazing AR experience. Historically, 3D assets have been really hard to build. It takes a lot of time, many hours, a lot of sophisticated development to build 3D assets. And if AI can help build those 3D assets faster, I think that'll lead to more creativity and experimentation and augmented reality for developers. So it's coming very soon, and we're really excited about some of the new features we're rolling out for Lens Studio.
There's a lot that's been said about India as a market in terms of potential. You've traveled across the world, you've seen many markets. Can you pick out a few things that make India stand apart and completely unique in your own mind?
There are a couple of things that really excite me. One is just the number of young people. India has so many young people who are all thinking about growth and the future of the country, and that gives an incredible energy to everything that we do here in India. We also just see an enormous amount of creativity. From the very early days when we started teaching people how to use Lens Studio in the classroom, right, and leading classes on augmented reality, we just saw an enormous uptake and embrace of these tools in AR. And so I think that openness to creativity and that youthful energy and optimism about the future is really an exciting thing here in India.
From a business perspective, Evan, what is the role you see for India now in the overall Snap ecosystem? I mean, there's tremendous growth, like we've discussed at the beginning, in India in particular, and the creator ecosystem powering it. What is the kind of, if you look at the entire Snap ecosystem, where do you see India in, say, the next 3 to 5 years?
It's such a great question. As you mentioned, we've seen so much extraordinary growth here, but it's also still very early. And so a lot of what we've been doing is just building out our team to make sure that we're supporting content creators and supporting developers, helping them embrace our tools. And just now also beginning to work with our own team with advertisers so that we can help folks continue to grow their businesses here in India by using our advertising tools. So in many ways, I think we're just building the foundation here in India over the next couple of years as we continue to grow our community and grow our engagement with advertisers and developers.
And globally, do you see the numbers rising in a way that you can actually take on the real top 2 or 3, media giants, social media giants and tech giants which are there? Because you're, I think, in the top 10, but, are you going to look at that kind of numbers?
We certainly see a path to reaching 1 billion people over time. So I do think that is something that we certainly aspire to, and that would place us in a very small group of companies that have been able to reach 1 billion people around the world. And India will be an important part of that strategy. But it's just been so exciting to be able to create a product that's used by so many people and, of course, brings them closer together with their friends and family. It's really inspiring, and so I hope we can continue to grow our community and reach over 1 billion people.
So, well, I hope you have many more meetings in India and you come back to India more often as India grows in the Snap ecosystem. Thank you very much, Evan, for speaking to Business Today.
Thank you so much for having me.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.